Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wide Open Adventures, Abnormal Investigations. I've been running both channels this week, so excuse me on that one, man. I've been just doing a lot of videotaping for Wide Open Adventures. All the storms we've had. It's been round after round after round out here on the farm, and it just seems like it just wasn't going to stop. And I know a lot of y'all are going through the same thing as what we went through. So, man, it's been rough. I tell you that. Um, we'll go ahead and I want to throw Jessie in here because she can see the screen a lot of the times when I can't when we're doing this. Okay, I can't hear you, Jessie. You have no sound. Not a word. She's trying to be incognito tonight. She thinks she's going to get out of it, but she ain't. We'll make her call us if she don't. Uh, Randy says a cat attack. Yeah, a cat attacked her. No, no noise, nothing. You are dead in the water, ma'am. You think we got 5 minutes to wait for you to fix your mic? Look at all this preparedness, guys. I think I might know what might have happened. We was in the middle of a conversation about probably 2 hours ago, and all of a sudden the conversation just ended on my side, and I was like, okay, what's going on? I found out about 30 minutes later that she had fallen asleep. Some people, I guess, in this world work and sleep. I try not to do either of the two. I can see your red light blinking on your mic. Oh, my nose is itching tonight. Got some allergies going. Uh oh. Oh, oh. We got some fumbling around there.
Is it working now?
Hear you 5x5. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
10-4.
Woohoo! Okay.
I was
And
telling
you had
everybody.
to tell everybody I fell asleep. Thanks a lot.
I know I can hear you snoring plumb over here.
Well, it wouldn't happen if you weren't so boring.
I know. All I talk about is business, business, business. About these channels, these damn channels.
Yeah.
And the trolls are mad at me too, man. They're standing out in the rain tonight, having to watch me on their phones. So, they're not the happiest tonight.
At least you're not having to sit out in the rain.
Well, they're in a good mood though because they get to see me. So
Yeah.
that puts them in a good mood. We've always got a surprise for them. Well, guys, our show tonight, whenever we get everything kicked off, we actually have quite a bit of things to go over. Actually, more than we had on the last show. Um, I actually haven't got to tell Jessie about this. This will be new to her.
I don't like surprises.
Oh, this is a good surprise. I spoke with Mike earlier, the guy that does our photographs or audio, and he finds everything for us. And is a great, great help. He said that the Halloween show that we done on the 31st night, I haven't seen anything yet. He's still working on it, but he said there was some really good audio in it.
Yeah.
But he said there was some very good photos.
Oh.
He said we caught some things that we're going to be very, very surprised that we caught. So it does help having two people out there running two different kinds of equipment. We still have not got to go through the IR photographs and stuff, so I'm sure there's going to be stuff there also that we're going to have on the show for the. But the show tonight, we do got quite a few audio and photos to go through. But yeah, he was real quick to let me know, and he never really gets too excited over anything, but he said there's some really good photos. So most of the time we're getting really good audio, and the way he was talking is there's some really good photos on Halloween night. So it's going to be interesting. There's still a debate on the reflection in the window. I bet I've got 30 emails today. But here's the thing. This is what's weird. They said there might have been a reflection and then something at the window.
Hmm.
Okay. I at first stayed with what I said the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, no, it's just a reflection because that's truly what I thought after we had reviewed everything. Now, I'm going to do roll call real quick and we'll jump back into what we're talking about because I'm actually going somewhere with that. So don't let me lose my train of thought, but I do like to call people. Pam, thank you for being here and moderating. Randy, thank you for being here and moderating. Jana, T-Bone, Randy again, T-Bone again. We got a lot of good people in here moderating tonight. We appreciate it. We got a lot of good subscribers in here. We appreciate y'all showing up on this rainy night. And we pray that everybody is safe from the storms tonight. And prayers to everybody that faced the storms tonight. Um,
Prayers for Luana and her family.
yes, Luana, I think, was hit pretty hard. Um, and another thing, too, is we are working on some places to go visit for boots on the ground. So that's going to be another thing. Wolf Lady, so good to see you in the chat tonight.
Hello.
I'm going to talk about you here in just a second. But and I'm not asking for your permission either. So you be good and drink your wolf coffee or whatever you're drinking. Um, but yeah, we're looking at a few places that we're going to try to get into. One of the places is a pretty crazy place. It used to house the criminally insane. So, and these were like, I think 4 and 5 story buildings, very eerie buildings. There's no telling what it reminds me of a movie I've watched before. I'm not really excited about that. Um, but we'll go there. We'll see what we can find. Another thing we are possibly working on. Now, this is something that's been going on behind the scenes. It's really never stopped since the first video. We may be doing a part 2 on the Girl Scout murders. And if we do a part 2, it's going to be focused on the supernatural aspect of it. And I would like to go down and do some on the scene interviews and give people a feel for what it looks like and what the area looks like. So that's something that we're kicking around right now. It's been in the works for a while. We're just going to have to see. Bless you, Mom. We're going to have to see what happens with that. So I'm excited to do a part 2. I thought the part 1 was a really well constructed interview. It did not go as big as I thought it would, but also there was some weird things that happened. YouTube removed parts of the interview, and it wasn't promoted like it should have been. So we will have to find a different way to promote it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but back to wow, Mike, you really get the trolls out of YouTube. Oh yeah, yeah. We love our trolls. Their views and everything counts too.
Yeah.
Um, it all counts. Just give me 30 seconds or more. Don't matter how you do it, increments or however. Just 30 seconds. That's all I need, and it counts for a view. Um, but talking about the reflection, right? I stood with it was still a reflection. That was truly what I felt after we'd reviewed it and after you all had reviewed it. But and it doesn't mean that these two things go together. But yep, Wolf Lady, I'm gonna hold you to that.
Mm-hmm.
But there was something that happened on the 28th, and what happened on the 28th made me start wondering if there was not maybe something at Sarah's window the 31st. And we're going to look at that here in a little bit on these photographs that we're going to look at and some of the audio. Whenever I have to go through them and I have to upload them to StreamYard right here to be able to use them in the show, well, I have to blow them up and upload them so I get a clearer view of them on the computer screen than what I do on my phone or my iPad. And I saw some things that brought some questions. And I haven't even talked to Jessie about this, so this will be a surprise to her too tonight. But it made me because my vehicle on the 28th was the same place that I had my vehicle dropped off on the 31st.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the same location from the 28th to the 31st. And what happened on the 31st, no, on the 28th, made
Mm-hmm.
me think that what happened on the 31st was plausible that there could have been more than a reflection. And I'm saying plausible. I'm still not going to say for sure. But I do believe that after what I've discovered today, that that bridge that me and Sarah stood at where we ran down and touched the pylons on it or whatever,
Yeah.
probably wasn't a good idea that night based on what Mike found in the videos. Um, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I want to thank Virginia. I'll butcher your last name, but I'll try it. Sequoia. Thank you so very much for that, and God bless you. Uh, yeah, I'm thinking. We've went down to this place quite a few times, and a lot of the times, the what do you call the encounters or the sounds that we
Mm-hmm.
hear are on the opposite side of the lake, right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, with the water being down, that would leave an area to walk across because you saw me and Sarah walk across it and touch the other pylon. So anything could walk across at that point. Well, Mike has I don't know, he has an eagle eye because he caught something on the 28th that really, really made me start thinking today. And we'll
Uh,
get into that here in just a little bit. But it really, when I was looking at it today, I was surprised. When I seen it, I was like, what in the world? Okay, they're saying T-Bone had a.
yeah. He says, does the same rule apply where you got to be a subscriber for a week or you can't comment on it? I'm not quite sure what he's talking about.
The only thing we have on tonight, guys, you got to be a subscriber for 10 minutes to comment on this live. We do have that activated. It helps a little bit with the trolls because they got like millions of accounts. Uh, but no, just 10 minutes is all you'll have to wait to be able to chat tonight. Subscribe, wait 10 minutes, and then you should be able to chat.
Mhm.
Now on the Patreon, we're not going to be able. I'm going to have to go back a little bit on some of what I've said. We're not going to be able to release everything now that we're getting on our Patreon. And the reason for that is some of our Patreon stuff goes against YouTube guidelines. And I'm not going to violate their guidelines. I respect them. I mean, that's their rules. That's what they ask us as creators to follow. So I'm not going to gripe about them doing it. They have their reasons for doing it. So that's why I believe, we have Patreon is to be able to do that. Now, Jesse's pretty familiar with what we filmed the other night that we cannot show, on regular video because of what was down there. We'll say the carnage.
Mhm.
And but we will put that on Patreon so y'all will be able to see that. But yeah, after I was looking at all that, I just ran across that photo, Jesse, and I had looked at that photo a million times, even when I ran it through chat to you guys, because like I said, I run all the photos and audio through my moderators, and we all go through it together. I never seen it until I blew it up on my computer, and then it was like, it's right there. Because I was like, what is Mike trying to get my attention? Because I didn't see nothing with that arrow. I was like, I don't see nothing. But when it came up on the computer, I was like, oh my God. So I blew it up. I did do a zoomed in and I screenshotted it so y'all would hopefully be able to see it better. Um, there's some pretty amazing stuff in the audio. I'm not going to lie. There's some weird stuff. There's some stuff tonight that's bothersome. Should we put out a warning on what they're going to hear tonight, you think?
Some of it is disturbing. Yeah, you could do that. Probably not be a bad idea.
Yeah, there's going to be a little of it was disturbing. It was not as friendly, I think, on the 28th as it had been.
No.
And I came up with something else while listening to the audio. I think and I may be wrong. I know you have the timestamps and you went through a lot of that, but I seen something, or not see, I heard something, and I'm starting to think that two parts of the audio we have may go together. And this is going to sound weird, but I'm wondering if whatever down there was actually fighting with each other.
Could be.
You know what I'm saying? It was like they were fighting.
I know what you're talking about now. Yes, it could very well possibly be because I was listening, as I was re-listening to the video today, there were a few audio clips that weren't given to you that I could clearly hear, um, that almost sounded like this what you're talking about. Yes.
And I was kind of disturbed when we found the one that we're going to listen to. It would be the 28th Wolf Lady. It was the boots on the ground for the 28th of October. Um, the one that I heard did bother me at first until I continued to listen to the audio, and I was like, I don't think that's meant toward me. I think it's fighting with this other whatever it was,
Mhm.
and I think it was even being protective of either you or Sarah when I was I don't know who I was talking about at the time because I'm always talking about one of you.
Mm.
But hello, Walter. Good to see you. Hello, Sharon Guy. Scared Silly. Michelle McGuire's in here tonight. If I miss anybody, I'm not trying to miss anybody. I always try to shout everybody out. Um, but it was really a weird night, the 28th, leading up to the 31st. And I'm actually excited to see what Mike has on the photographs because he says the photographs are just crazy, crazy. I'm working on something else right now. It's going to be very. I'm sure a lot of people are going to have a lot of opinions on what I'm going to be talking about because you remember whenever Jesus cast the demons out and they asked to go into the swine and then the swine drowned themselves in the sea, right?
Mhm.
Why does everybody think the swine drowned themselves in the sea?
So they could well, I think it's so that they could release themselves and go where they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not it?
Mm-mm.
Not what you think? No?
No, no, because see, whenever they go to the dry places, they find no rest, and they look for a place to find rest, and their rest is to possess a body. So they would have wanted to keep the pigs. I'll give y'all a hint, unless they could have went somewhere else that was more comfortable. It all goes back to Genesis. I've done some stuff today. I've been reading. Yeah, it's probably going to get me in trouble whenever I bring all that out. But yeah, you know, I got another thing for you. What do you
Hmm.
think about this? They say that there was 200 watchers.
Mhm.
There's 200 craters around the world from impacts.
Only 200? I would think there'd
That's
be
what,
more.
that's what they're saying. As far as large craters on the Earth.
Hmm.
Now I'm still looking into this. I saw him fall as a streak of lightning.
Mhm.
We can't go real deep into that or we'll get in trouble. But I was thinking how my mind works.
Well, that goes back into what we were discussing the other day about all of the different myths and legends in history through, um, all the other different cultures and what they perceived as little gods and align up with the fallen.
Hmm. Well, why would the city? I'm not going to say the name right yet till I get everything done. Why would they have a meeting room with 200 empty chairs that are placed beside a statue of Lucifer?
Now you lost me.
We'll go into it. We'll get deeper into it next time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been looking into all that, and it really goes down a different road than what I was taught. I start getting different ideas whenever I start reading it because, like today, The swine ran into the water. The spirits wanted to be released into the water. Jesus walked on the water. He was above it, and we will step on scorpions and snakes. Yeah, but
Mhm.
anyways, it just started resonating in my mind, right? So I'm working on that.
Okay.
See, now you're thinking about it. Now you're
Yeah.
gonna be thinking about that the rest of the show, and we're not gonna get nothing done. Uh, well, guys, I guess if does anybody have a story they want to share before we jump into this, because we do have quite a few audio tapes we'll go over and we're going to discuss and stuff tonight. But does anybody have an encounter they would like to come on and share? If you do, just say I have an encounter I would like to share. We will we will give a little more time. And Mike needs to drink more water. Why would I need to drink more water? I drink water all the time.
You drink the bougie water.
I drink Voss.
Yeah, you're bougie.
Is that not good?
It's bougie.
Bougie.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go, scared Jody. But nobody has a story, so let's go ahead and let's jump into the photos. If I don't see you in chat, I'm not being rude. I'm trying to use a iPad to the side to where I can still see chat, but it's a lot smaller over there. Alrighty. And before we get kicked off on this too crazy, a lot of y'all had asked me, how do we send something to Hunter for his birthday? His birthday is November 6th. He will be turning 12 years old, which is a huge, huge staple. Not only is he just going to have a great birthday, but turning 12 is going to be huge. So if you would like to send him something, I've had a million people ask me, this is where you would send it. Um, yeah, what do you think about him turning 12, Jesse? That's a,
Last year, he becomes a teenager next year.
yeah, getting to be
Yeah.
a big boy.
Yep.
I'm excited for him to turn 12. 12 is a big number to me. I think it's a very important number.
Yeah.
And I'll show that later if anybody wants to see it. Okay, let's jump into the first photograph. Now, I'm going to be honest. I named this one something in a tree because I didn't see anything, but maybe you all will. So here's the first video or the first photo. I'm not good at these. I'll be honest. I am not good at these.
No, I see these more as, I don't know, pareidolia. Because I could see other things on it too, but again, it's more like pareidolia.
That's what I was because I'm not good at this. Everybody knows that I'm not good at them. So let's go ahead and move on to the next photograph since we don't see anything in that one to discuss. This one, I believe, might be the same tree, different perspective. Now, I can see a face if I look real hard.
Mm-hmm.
I see the eye, the nose. It's like its side profile is what I see.
Yeah.
But again,
Is it lighting and pareidolia, or
is
is
it
it?
court worthy? No.
Yeah.
That's the way I try to do everything on here. Is it court worthy? To me, and I think this one right here we're going to look at might be, let's see. No, that's a different area. Do you see anything in that one?
No,
I
I
think it's a
can't.
mist. I think that's a mist that he was catching. He said there was like a mist that went across.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
I mean, I
I'm
could
not
kind of
good at
see
it. Could have been
something.
somebody's breath.
Yeah. I mean, maybe, but again, like pareidolia, I'm making things out of things that might not
Right.
necessarily be there. I don't know.
And then you have, I do see that.
Looks like something's crouching down. Yeah.
It looks like something down on its hands and knees with even another one beside it.
Yep. What for sure?
You
Yeah,
see
I
that?
can't tell, but I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. You see the one to the left of it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And okay, this is where I start putting kind of everything together. Um, okay, let me make sure I put this together right because sometimes StreamYard doesn't quite do things the way I want it to. Okay, we have something, the tree, something coming down the hill, something on it. Okay, right here is where Mike caught something, and I thought that it was very, very, very neat. Uh, you know where the pillars were at that we walked down and touched?
Right.
Now on the 28th, he'd seen something past those pillars, and there's a dip there, because that was a bridge. You have to walk down and then walk up the other side. On the
Right.
other side, he said that he was seeing things right here, and this is the other side of the bridge. You can see that the pillars there.
Right.
So he was seeing things right there on the other side of the bridge. I wasn't quite seeing anything in that photograph, but I do now know there had to be something over there because what I'm about to show you, you'll understand what I mean. It's
Okay.
really weird. Uh, then we have one last one where he said there was something in the tree, which is right here. To me, again, could be
See, now I
port
remember that.
worthy. No,
I
because they could just say that was the darkness through the tree of the sky. Um, I'm very, very particular on pictures.
No, I remember that
I
part
mean,
during the
put a
video.
red circle around it, maybe. Um,
Can you hear me?
okay,
No.
so I hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear
Um.
you.
Okay. So I remember that portion, that picture, or during the video portion of it too, and I kept getting drawn back to that during the when it was actually live during the video, and it did look like there was something over there. Because as you moved your light too, so maybe the photo itself isn't actually capturing what is being seen necessarily, but going
Right,
back to the video portion of it, it did look like there was something over there, and I just couldn't see it. Not see it, but couldn't call it out quite. Like my brain wasn't focusing on it correctly or
right.
something.
Okay, this one here. I'll make sure I don't want to show the wrong one too fast. Okay, so we know he was seeing something on the other side of the bridge, right?
Mhm.
So something was catching his attention over there.
Mhm.
So you have this photograph here.
Okay.
Now you see the vehicle,
Right.
and you see on the other side, which is past the bridge, on the right side, you see that thing standing there.
Right.
It's past the bridge. It's up on the other side over there. It's on the right hand side, the dark object, right? You see it to the right side of the
Right.
path right there, the trail.
Correct.
Do you see that?
Yeah. I could see it.
Okay, so you was able to see that.
Yes.
Okay, now that vehicle is in my vehicle is in the same place that we left the vehicle on the 31st. So if you come back to this photograph right here, this is on our side of the bridge now, and you can see it moving up toward the vehicle, which would be on the passenger side. See, it is now on our side. It has crossed that bridge.
That's not the
And
same
I'm going to show
photo?
you a zoomed in photograph of it after this, and you can actually. No, that's a different photo. You want me to show you the other one that I
Okay.
just showed?
Yes.
Okay, so you got this one,
Okay.
Oh, wrong one. You got this one. It should be coming up here. My computer's a little slow. See, it's on the other side of the bridge, and then you got right here. Oh, see it there on the other side of the bridge.
Yeah.
Now, if you zoom this in, you ready for this? This is where I zoomed it in.
Okay.
It's going to take it a second. Do you see it?
Yeah.
That's it coming up toward the passenger side of the window.
Oh.
Can you see that?
Oh. Yes.
That's what I seen today that was really throwing me off. You see it?
Yes.
It came all the way from the other side of that bridge up to her window. Now, keep in mind, that's the 28th. It is not the 31st that happened on. That's the 28th.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
Um, no, I just heard my door open and I'm wondering if my daughter just came in the house because I haven't heard her.
Hope so.
I hope so too. Hold on. Sorry.
Might have a big surprise. But I noticed that, guys, whenever I got to looking on the 28th, I was like, if it came up to her side of the vehicle,
It's
then
my
why
daughter.
would it not have done it? Is it your daughter?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
my daughter.
I was like, why would it not do it on the 31st in the same place?
Right.
But I'm still saying there was a reflection. I still stand by that.
The clearer images that were coming through were definitely reflections.
Right.
Now, if there was something else behind it, then yeah, I missed it too.
Okay. And then we can move over here, and he sent this, and I think this is the orb that I said I seen. I think he was able to catch it. I think the
Yeah.
bottom left is actually his computer, and the top right is the actual orb, and then the bottom left is where he blew it up.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of confused
I'm guessing
when.
that's how he
Oh,
done it.
okay.
But that's that blue light that I saw floating through the woods. I knew I was
Mhm.
seeing something,
And that was also
so
the
I was glad
28th.
he was able to at least. That's the 28th. Yeah, everything tonight is the 28th. Everything that we're
Okay.
looking at tonight is the 28th.
Okay.
Pam says that she saw it. Good job, Pam. But now we're going to move into vocalizations and audio. So anybody wearing headsets or hearing devices, be warned that some of these can be very loud and they could cause damage to your ears because some of these are loud even without headphones on here. So just a little warning. I'm going to actually turn mine down just a little bit. So just a little warning. This first one we have sent to us, it sounds like something huffs, and it sounds like something says Jesse's name, is what Mike caught. So we'll go ahead and play this first one here for everybody to listen to. I actually heard that.
While you were out there?
No, I mean just now. I
Oh,
usually don't
oh,
hear. I usually don't hear a lot of that, but I did hear that.
yeah.
But to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds to me like it's having trouble speaking. Like speaking is not natural.
Mhm.
Does it sound like that to you?
Yeah, almost like yeah, Sunshine said Sierra sounds. So I've noticed like going back and listening to a lot of the sounds and then it's almost like they're mimicking, they're hearing they're hearing humans say it and they come back and it's like they're trying to mimic the sounds, kind of like a kid, a child learning how to speak, and it almost sounds muffled.
Right. Amy, hold that thought because it gets better as we go.
Mhm.
And I think you're going to think about something really hard here in a minute. So, did any of the timestamps compare to that with anything going on that you found, or is that just a out of the blue where it called your name?
To be honest, that was probably about the part where I fell asleep.
Didn't make it that far?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, we will try the next one. This one here, Amy was saying sounded, she heard what she thought sounded like a primate. And I was kind of neat that she said that actually, because what we're going to play right here, Mike said sounded like a monkey.
Mhm.
Do you
Yep.
hear a monkey?
It definitely sounds like, yeah, either a whimper or like, yeah, what we would typically hear of a primate making a noise.
Right. So why would a, I mean, they were crossed with everything, so I guess
Yep.
you would keep some attributes from one and some attributes from the other, right?
Yep.
Like what Walter says. I agree with Walter too. It is monkeyish.
Mhm.
And Janice says, it sounds like a monkey. Wolf Lady says it sounds like a primate.
Mhm.
Lisa Ann says yes. I try to throw a lot of people up here during the show because I love people's ideas and opinions. Male and female like to hear sounds where they said two were arguing.
Mhm.
Well, we're going to get into a little bit of the arguing here in a little bit, but I think this was just a little bit more than an arguing. I think one of these might have been actually being mean to the other one. And, Randy, I'm glad you brought that up. Something happened the other day here in Oklahoma that happened really close. A little bitty town called Chelsea. A person took a photograph of a family of bear in the town. So that's pretty crazy. Like Wildman says, human animal hybrids. Yes, I believe that's very likely. Lisa Ann says a monkey. Pam hears it. Michelle says bully. I'm not sure what
Mm.
she's talking about as a bully. Yeah, Randy, it happened in Chelsea. There was a whole family of them. Even the person that seen them photographed it. So they did have proof. Now this next one might be a little disturbing for everybody at first until it's explained. I think I can explain this away later. I really do. So I'm going to go ahead and let y'all listen to this one. Probably going to see a whole lot of oh my gods on this one. So if you're bothered by things in your home, a lot of people have emailed me and said they've had stuff happening in their homes when they listen to this. This is your chance to bow out before it gets worse. So it's going to get worse. I'm just telling you. But this is your chance to not listen to this part. I want to be, fair with everybody because I wouldn't want somebody doing that to me if I didn't want to hear it because there's some things I don't like to hear. All right, so here we go. Why don't you just die? Why don't you just die? Why don't you just die? Why don't you just die?
Yeah, that was pretty clear.
Yeah, I think we can all agree. agree on what was being said there.
Yeah.
Uh, now the thing is, whenever I first heard that, it was disturbing. I thought that I had made something mad at me. Um,
I'm trying to remember when that one was. That was towards the end. I think you guys were heading out.
that's when we was leaving.
It was close to you guys were already on your working your way out.
And that's not something you want to hear.
No.
That's not very nice. And that was what I thought too. I was like, wow, why would it be so mad? And then we have this next one here, which is unknown words, in case anybody is able to hear something. We wasn't able to determine what was said.
Yeah, I couldn't make those out either.
James says that's an angry spirit. I agree, Walter. It's bothersome. Wildman says could be a goblin. So I mean, wonder. Let's see. Wonder if you sped it up, if you can tell what it is saying. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know about that. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody can try that.
I've wondered about some of the things that you've captured too on audio, if they were either sped up or played backwards.
Well, you know who reads from right to left.
Uh,
We'll stay out of that too.
mm,
We'll go down that road. We'll get in trouble.
mm.
Yep, wild man. I do believe that. I believe that they use adaptive camouflage. That's my theory.
Mhm.
All right, and then of course we was unable to make out what that one said. Now I think I might have been teasing either. I might have been teasing.
Thank you, Sunshine, for that donation.
Yeah, thank you, Sunshine, for that. God bless you for that. I was trying to like it. Hold on. I'm not going to give up. It's fighting me on the heart. It won't let me heart it for some reason. I can like it, but I can't heart it. Um, I think I was joking with you guys because I do, I give you all a hard time. And I do think I was joking with you. Maybe you or Sarah. I don't know if you've looked it up or not, but I'm going to go ahead and play it. And it's telling me to, yeah, leave her alone.
I did look that one up. And that one was
Mm-hmm.
actually while Sarah was down, actually touching one of the pillars. And I'm wondering, and you weren't actually picking on her at that point. I'm wondering if maybe it was something else arguing again with another entity down there, saying to them, leave her alone.
I wonder if some of that, what we're catching, is actually really what you're saying is not them arguing with each other.
Hmm.
Because I wonder if there is any cave systems in your all's area for some of these creatures are coming out of. Wildman, there is tons and tons of cave systems because all this has been dug by the coal mines. There is hills and caves everywhere down here. and people tell me don't go down around the caves at night or on the rolling hills because I've wanted to. So yeah, I mean that was really weird when I heard that. I was like, okay. Now you remember earlier the one that said, "Why don't you just die?"
Mm-hmm.
When I went through these earlier, I thought it might have been talking to me until I found this. It sounds like this voice here is talking back to that voice saying, "Why did I have to die?" or "Why did I die?" Something like that. So I think it was actually making fun of it if you listen.
Now? Okay. Love you. Yeah,
Do you
I
think
did
they were
hear that
fighting
one.
with each other?
I think that was possibly it. Yeah, could have been.
Randy says he heard, "Why did I have to drown?"
Oh, that could very well possibly be.
A lot of water down there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it makes you wonder, did somebody drown somebody down there? Why don't you just die? Why do I have to die?
Yeah, maybe
And I'm not
residual.
right, yeah, I'm not saying it's the same entities doing that, but we know there's familiar spirits that reenact everything they see too.
Mm-hmm.
Randy says ritual. Um, Mike, they say they can cloak because their hair is hollow, which is weird. Yep, that's part of what I believe. Yeah, it is. That's my theory. Virginia says it does sound like that. Randy, the wild man, says the beast of the earth. Absolutely. Um, so yeah, that was pretty. That was a pretty wild one there. I thought it was pretty crazy. And then of course after it says why do I have to die, then we end up getting this audio here.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was right before this one, between this one and the one you just played, or if it was between this one and the next one. There was a very eerie leave that wasn't sent over, but I could hear clearly when I was rewatching the videos and the timestamps.
Right.
Um, so between the creepy noises or the creepy voices and whatever that was too, it makes me wonder again, were they arguing
With me or with themselves.
with
And
themselves? Yeah, or all of the
then
above.
this one here, he says one of them tells me to watch my back.
Now I could hear your name in that one, but I couldn't quite make out. I think I could almost hear it better in the video.
Yeah, that one there is a little hard to hear. Um, I think this one is where he said it says Michael, maybe.
Yeah, not sure.
I'm not sure on that one. Randy wants me to play the one I played prior to that one, so here you go, Randy.
Hmm. Yeah,
Randy said
that's
he hears Mike. Watch your back, somebody's going to die.
yeah. I think that's what I did hear in the video.
Really?
Mhm.
So again, is it talking to us or is it talking to whoever drowned in the water? Or
Yeah.
I mean, whatever's down there doing this, we know that it has to be close to us
Yeah, the
because
way that it's coming through on the mic is
right,
pretty solid.
and it makes you wonder if you could like see everything down there. What are you actually, or what are me and Sarah actually? What are we walking through? Like, what is actually going on around us that we're not able to see? We
Yeah,
had,
it's a good
you know,
question.
we had one guy even bring up the idea, telling me to get one of those lights that puts all the light beams out there and you can see it move through the lights. But I'm starting to think, do we really want to go that far? And I don't think so. I don't think that's. I think that we start getting away from looking for the flesh and the blood cryptid. Um, I mean, I could see how it could work for the flesh and the blood cryptid too. It'd be like kind of a double edged sword because it's like the more equipment you put out there, the more these other creatures they want to show themselves,
Right.
and that's just like another avenue for them to be able to say, "I'm right here."
Right.
And then you got to ask yourself, do you really want to put that out there and be walking around and have a shadow run past you?
No.
You know, I think that that's something we'll have to think about. We are talking about getting an EVP. Definitely going to get one of those. We're going to run the Geiger counter and the EVP at the same time. It would be interesting to see if certain uh, certain cryptids would give off an EVP and certain cryptids would give off a Geiger counter. I think that would be very, very interesting to know.
Mhm.
Now, this next one says something that they have said for many, many times that we go down there. This next recording you're going to hear is something we've heard at several different places and not just this place. I believe this one here is probably, man, I'm not going to say it's attached, but I think it searches for us or knows when we're there. I think for some reason it's attracted to us for some reason
I think it definitely
because
knows when you're there.
right, especially when you hear this one, you're going to know. I'm pretty sure this is the same one. I think this one follows us from place to place. And here it is.
Yeah, and that one was actually caught after Sarah had been talking for quite some time. So I did go back. I do remember when that one was caught.
So is Sarah's voice causing the mom?
It could be that just hearing her voice is triggering something and causing them to come out.
So something's on purpose kind of messing with Sarah maybe a little bit.
Hmm.
Or at least it's recognizing her voice.
Yeah, because at that time too, you were even saying, I don't hear it. And she was saying, you don't need to hear it. I can feel it. And I don't know if she was necessarily hearing the sounds at that point, but she was trying to get across to you that she could tell that there was something there and could feel it.
She knew something was not right, I guess.
Right.
Um, this next one here, he says, is a yell. So here's the yell. That sounds like a cat to me.
I think you said that in the video too.
Did I say
So,
it sound like a cat? It sound like a
yeah.
cat.
Hmm.
Did I sound like a cat to you?
It could have been. I mean, yeah, either a cat or a child in the far distance.
That was a weird one. And then we get to this other audio and where it yells "woo," and why it would, some of these things that it's doing just don't make sense. Again, it doesn't make no sense. I mean, it's a noise that was caught. It's not
Or like Randy said, like an owl, trying to mimic an owl, maybe.
right. And we know they do a lot of mimicking. They
Hmm.
try to do that. They're bad about that. Um, I'm starting to wonder if we're not like getting conversations at us and conversations amongst themselves all maybe at once. It's kind of like the bully shows up. Why did I have to die? Why don't you just die?
It's possible. I mean, like I said from the beginning, I think that there is something there that is protecting you too. So could it be arguing with them?
That really puts it on another perspective because that's a scary thought, and whatever would be there would be stronger than them because they're evidently not happy with what's going on because of the conversations that they're having. And it almost makes you think, if you really think about it, it makes you think that these demons or whatever, they don't believe that they're dead because they're saying, "Why don't you die?"
Or, well, I mean, are demons really dead? They're fallen angels. I don't know.
I think I think they're eternal,
Yeah. So are they
and
talking about you and
right.
Sarah?
Or here's something really strange. Or are they doing what familiar spirits do? And are they acting out something that's happened down there? And the little kid that's saying "mom" was attacked by something that killed that little kid, and it's saying, "Why don't you die?" And he's saying, "Why did I have to drown?" Just a theory,
Yeah, it raises so many other questions.
because That's pretty crazy to think about that. If they're acting out something that happened,
Reliving it, or yeah.
right? It's hard to, and I agree, Romans, with what you're saying. I think
Mhm.
I believe that some of them, the flesh and blood ones, are the descendants of the Nephilim from uh, the seed when all that happened. And I do believe that there is the spiritual ones, which are your fallen angels and your demons. So yeah, I do believe there is both. I agree with that. Uh, you know, then after they're talking and they're saying all that to us and all that's going on, then you catch this recording, which is just totally off the wall. So now your monkey's back.
Mhm.
So why would they be talking one way and then all of a sudden they go back to sounding like primates?
Well, keep in mind now, the recordings that you're playing are actually going backwards. So this was in the beginning of your life.
Right?
So it's almost like some of the stuff that they are coming out, or like they're coming forward, could be the Sabe coming through and making the noises and trying to speak, and these other entities are speaking to you or having arguments in the background. Um,
Because there's something going on that's not always directed at us.
right.
It seems that there's always something else that's going on.
Maybe they're actually talking to the cryptids that are out there.
So they're arguing with the, yeah. I mean, people do say they fight. They fight over territory.
I mean, that's a thought. Here you've got these physical entities that are out there that, I mean, you can see they're moving around, they're doing things, and what if it's these
Why don't you just
disembodied
die?
voices that are like, "Yeah, why don't you just die?" They're
Right.
just mad at them, and because 'cause they're bringing you guys out there. You guys are going out to look for them. I don't know. So many different theories.
I mean, yeah,
Possibility.
and then here's one that brings back my question about the little boy. And I hate going down this road. I know it bothers you too. I can tell by your reaction. But if they're reenacting theoretically a murder or an accident that could have happened, a drowning, and you have this one saying, "Why don't you just die?" Which I don't see that as an accident. That phrase just doesn't go well with an accident.
No.
And one saying, "Why did I have to drown?" or "Why did I have to die?" Whatever it said along those lines. And then now you're going to hear this, and you tell me how these go together with my theory.
That
It
makes
sounds like
that makes my
a
stomach
kid
turn.
yelling, "Hey, help me! Hey, help me!"
Oh, I almost thought it said, Mike, help us.
Okay, could have been that too. What did everybody in the chat hear? What did you all hear? I'll play it again too, so we can listen.
Yeah, some of them are saying, help me, help us.
Right. I mean, Jamie says, hey, help me. Michelle believes is trying to lure me closer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the thing is, we're not hearing these voices while we're out there, so we have to take into account that they are EVPs. Um, these are either things that has happened in the past or or happening at that moment. It's it's kind of a scary thought.
Yeah.
And then let me play this one here for y'all. Then I'll switch over to chat. This is the last one I have. I thought I'd end it on this one here.
Not quite sure.
I hear Sarah. Did you hear
Okay.
that?
Okay, if that's the one, I couldn't quite hear it in that one, in that recording, but when I was listening to the original audio, that I could hear.
Right. Elder Medicine Bear Claw says then it can be the it, and every time I watch you, I can feel it. Jenna couldn't understand that one.
Oh.
It's so strange that we can hear them on the live. Well, on the live, you're still getting the EVP because it's still coming through my speaker and then going to you all. It's still an EVP impression
Mhm.
to where I'm not using any electronic device to hear what's going on. I'm not able to hear it. Um, I wish I could because, well, maybe I don't. May not stay there as long. Um, I don't understand. A part of me is wondering about should I try a different location, and but then I wonder if I leave this spot, is it going to get cold?
No, I don't think it will.
You don't think it'll cool off?
No.
That's one of my fears is not investigating it far enough. But then one of my fears is also pushing it too far. Is there a limit?
Well, only way you're going to find out is by testing that theory.
Which hasn't turned out well for a few other investigators.
As far as,
Uh, some questionable people that aren't with us anymore
oh,
of how they left this earth.
gotcha.
I mean, it seems like to me they're getting angrier. They're
Yeah.
they're getting more upfront They're it's kind of like they're. I mean, I mean, it's just obvious that they don't want you there.
Well, something doesn't want you there because something is definitely arguing with you or
Right. And
whatever else is out there.
Elder Medicine Bear Claw has a theory, but I think she doesn't want to say the name of what she's talking about. And I'm trying to figure it out in my head because I know that she's talking about something. Uh, Hello, Rebecca. Good to see you. You know, when we first started out, it was a small voice, a small voice, a small voice, a small voice, and now it's like it's turned into numerous voices that are interacting with each other, interacting with us, and it doesn't sound like they all get along with each other either. And I don't know, is it kind of like there's people in the woods out there walking around with lights on, right? So everything in the woods is going to run to that light to see what it is. And then if you don't see the light, then you got, and I'm sure these creatures are thinking, you've got these idiots out there with lights all over them, screaming and hollering. And now this is another theory I have, and I don't even know if it's true, but if you're okay, say you're a cryptid, right? Let's just say you're a cryptid, and you're at home in the woods. You're doing your thing. You're walking through the woods, right? So you see this car. This car is coming up the road, which isn't something that that you don't see. You're just like, oh, okay, here comes another car. Uh, I don't know what Luis Carlos means. Uh,
Mm,
so you see this car coming, and you're like, oh man, here comes some more. Humans are probably going to come down here and either play music real loud, drink beer, fight with their old lady, put a tent up, you know, something. But all of a
sorry.
sudden, uh, I'm going to try to catch on to that. Okay, yep, I know what you're talking about. Um, and then all of a sudden, these people get out, right? So you're out there and you're doing your thing. You're like, okay, well they're going to be doing their thing. They're not going to be paying attention to me, so I'll just continue to forage or whatever I'm doing, and I'll just stay in the thicker woods and I'll be quiet. So these people get out of their car, and you start seeing brighter than normal spotlights, and you're like, that's a little weird. What why are these people bringing brighter lights, right? So you're out there and you're foraging, and then you hear this person make this whoop. They start yelling. Well, and then you have to think about it like this too. If you don't truly speak their language, like I don't speak French, and you go out and you try to sound like a Frenchman, but you're not really saying anything, they're kind of like, what the hell is he doing? You know? And so they sit down and for a little bit they're intrigued by you, right? They're like, okay, this person's out there trying, I don't know why he's walking around in the woods out there, saying hello to nothing. But he's trying to use our words for some reason. So they're watching him, and then the next thing you know, they start taking pictures of the woods, and you're like, okay, now that's a little weird. And then they see infrared lights.
Mhm.
So then they start thinking to themselves, okay, we see trail cams. We know deer hunters use those to track deer. These guys are carrying, you know, IR that is, that they're carrying with them, and they're mobile with it, so they're actually actively searching for us. They're calling our name. They're using our language. They're using infrared to search for us. They're making whoops, tree knocks, whistles, and I would even go as far to say that when you're using your phone to video out there, that they're going to see the phone light off the back of it anyways, shine it on
Mhm.
you or whatever. So they're going to be like, they're not down here fishing, they're not down here hunting, or are they hunting? But what are they hunting? Is it us? And I could see where they would get really mad, because who wants to be hunted in their own home?
Well, but that also goes back to the reasoning why I always say you never do investigations in your own home. So if you think you have spiritual activity in your home, it's not a good idea to set up EVP recorders and such to try and capture things on your own, because what ends up happening is they end up realizing that you're giving them the attention, you're trying to seek out that attention, and it's only going to create a stronger, it's gonna only gonna draw them in and more and give them a stronger ground to stand on. So that I think that concept follows with what you're doing too. By you continuing to go out in the same general locations and you are doing the recordings and commenting on it, they know that you know they're there. And that's why it's getting stronger, is because it's drawing in more and more entities, more and more things, creatures, whatever it is. And that's why I think that it's building the way it is. Do I think that by backing off and finding another location, this will go cold? No. Um, I think some of them will actually recognize and follow you, because I think in their realm of existence, there is no there is no distance, there is no timeline. They are able to go wherever they need to as fast as they need to get there. So I don't think that it's going to affect other areas as far as hot or cold or wherever you're going. And
So they're
I'm not, and like, I'm not talking about the physical aspect of it. I'm talking about because Elder Medicine Bear Claw.
you're
Um,
talking about the disembodied.
right,
Yeah, they're not governed by our laws of physics.
right,
They work outside of that. And I think where you have your your disembodied, the demons, and you have your physical body, I believe you're always going to at some point run into both in those areas, because I feel like there's a connection between them because they both are connected in lineage. So I feel that they work together, they travel together, I mean, they may even have rituals down there together, right?
yeah, they go hand in hand.
I mean, we did find that circle. We found, there was a pentagram on it. There was deer horns on a stick that was stuck in the ground. That doesn't just naturally happen out in the middle of the woods. That was placed there. I
Hmm.
mean, that does not happen. Sarah found that. What was it? She said it was an egg. She thought, in the middle of that circle.
Hmm.
Wasn't real sure. We was guessing it was an egg. It looked like an egg, felt like an egg. Uh, there was something going on at that circle, because I mean, why would you have a circle with a pentagram drawn on it, sticks on it, and then you got horns stuck around it, and you've got something was going on. I mean,
Right.
something not natural, and it's not going to be a hunter that does it, because hunters they keep horns. I mean, that's something we keep. We don't leave them. We horn
Hmm.
hunt. So it's not going to be somebody that's down there hunting. So that circle was done that way for a reason.
Right.
And who's to say that? whatever goes down there doesn't increase the amount of both by rituals that they may be doing at that area. Because if they're down there worshiping these things, the little g gods have wanted to be worshipped since the beginning.
Mhm.
So if there's people down there doing that, of course they're going to draw them because that's what they want. They want to be worshipped. They've always wanted to be worshipped.
Yep.
So if they're down there doing that, you're going to end up with more and more because, I mean, from my understanding, and this is just what I get from whenever I read, scripture and stuff, the demons have, if you will, a chain of command. And if you start drawing the weaker ones in, well, they're going to run and tell this other one, hey, man, these humans are over there and they're really into us. I mean, they're worshiping us. They're sacrificing for us. They're doing this black magic and you know, so of course they're going to go because they're going to be like, it's kind of like grabbing your strongest friend and saying, hey, come with me, come on, check it out, and next thing you know, you got a whole bunch of them in one area. And there's a lot of history down there also. I mean, there's a lot of old history. I mean,
Well, now that you mention that, yeah, so these weaker things could be working the reconnaissance. They're going in and seeing what they could find, and now they're drawing people in. So now they're coming back and getting the stronger ones, which is why now you're getting more and more voices and arguments and branches thrown at you.
right. And the one thing they fear, and the Bible is clear about that, is the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. They tremble at
Right.
his name.
Mhm.
So whatever's down there, they know that Sarah and I are saved because it says that those that are saved, they walk in the light. You have a light about yourself that they're able to see, a vibration.
Mhm.
So they know when you're down there, if you're a believer or if you're not a believer. Um, and I think that there's a possibility that there is a line that they can't cross depending on if you are saved and or not saved. I think there is a line. I'm not saying that an unsaved person is just automatically a meal, but I think there is a line, and I think there's a stronger line for those that are saved than those that are not. And I wish we could go back and look at all the people that have gone missing since they've been keeping records. They say they don't, but they do. To up until now, and then to know what their religion was and how it affected the outcome of the situation. Of course, we'll never know that, but
Right.
it would be very interesting to know. Old John Bob, he didn't believe in nothing. He went out there and disappeared, and we ended up finding him half ate, half mile away. And then Billy Bob, he went down there in the same location. Now he heard a lot of weird things and had some sticks thrown at him and stuff, but he wasn't physically hurt or taken.
Mhm.
Is that the line? Is there a line there?
It's a good thought.
A lot of the hunters, they say that if you want to have a good encounter, they say to have a female with you. If there's an even amount, if there's an even ratio of women to men in the woods, your odds of having an encounter increases dramatically. I don't know if that's because the men are paying more attention to the women than they are their surroundings, or what it is, but they say it increases your chances of having an encounter.
See, now I've heard other points of that aspect that having more women to men, you'd almost have a higher chance for the fact that these creatures see it as they are spoken for or they have a male protection. And if you have a female without a male protection, they are up for grabs.
So that brings up another good theory then, because when me, Sarah, and Kaylee would go, that's when we had our closest encounters.
Mhm.
It was two women to one man, and that's whenever uh, Kaylee actually had her closest encounter. It stepped
Yep.
from around the tree.
Because many other encounter stories that I have heard through the years have been similar situations where the male has left for a prolonged period of time, where they may have been having situations with these creatures coming around, and once the male is gone, it almost increases tenfold and starts to it becomes much bolder towards the females.
Right. Did you check the ley lines around me? Didn't you do that?
Yes, I did.
Was it? Did it look interesting?
It did. The ley lines, the way that they had crossed, um, the interesting part about it, because I believe ley lines go from anywhere from 20 to 40 miles out, as far as the energy sources, and they crossed particularly in the areas in which you were actually doing a lot of your investigating.
That's pretty interesting. I wonder if that's what caused all the sightings that they had before everything was flooded. Because, I mean, there's stories back before it was ever flooded. The river ran through there, and everybody had stories of, you know, creatures at the river, and
Mhm.
kind of like Boggy Creek, there was always this creature that followed the water, he follows the creeks.
Right.
And they flooded it, which it gave these creatures so much more land, so much more area. I mean, they went from a river bottom to having over 29,000 acres. And that's just the core. That's not wildlife that connects to the core. So there's tons of areas down there. And there's
Yep.
caves. The coal mines have dug everything. They've left, man made caves and hills. And I mean, there's all kinds of stuff out there.
Mhm.
Makes you wonder, like, I don't know. Yeah, wild man, they talk about things to come upon the earth, and I think what the Bible's talking about is not coming from somewhere upon the earth. I think it's coming from within the earth upon the earth, because there's nothing new under the sun. So I believe everything that's here that we're going to face in the future is already here, and I think we're starting to see parts of it right now. I think that it's going to keep getting worse. I think that the longer it goes on, the more that line is going to be moved back. Uh, I don't know. I've been asked before. Do you think that there's more encounters now than there was back then, or is it just because we have better equipment and better ways of sharing information? Both, I think. Um, I think there might be a few more. I'm not going. I don't think it's tremendously. I don't think there's a big difference, but I think there is a difference. But also, you have to remember too. If these are what I believe them to be, their knowledge. They already know what we're doing and how we're transferring information. They already know. Um, our technology is probably nothing to them right now. They have already seen far more advanced than
Well,
what we ever did.
yeah, 'cause, I mean, most people even would probably agree the way that our technology has grown in the last few decades is because we've gotten our technology from these creatures, these entities, these whatever they are.
You know, even in Revelations, talks about they looked up into the sky and they seen a rolled up like carpet,
Mhm.
and it gives the size of it, which comes out to about 30 feet, and you know it's a nuclear warhead is what it's talking about, and this is what 2,000 years, and they knew then what we have now,
Mhm.
so they already know, and it's scary right now because everything that's going on overseas and everything. Israel getting pushed like they're getting pushed right now. Uh, I mean, all it's going to take really is for a missile to land in the wrong place, and it's going to be bad because that if Israel gets hit in a populated area and it really devastates them, they're going to unleash them, and it ain't just going to be Israel shot them. It's going to be one person shot them, then everybody's going to shoot them.
Mhm.
It's going to be a chain reaction.
Yeah.
Uh oh. Jamie says my daughter saw this thing stalking my boyfriend. You want to come on and tell us about it? We can't seem to get anybody to come on. If anybody has an encounter you'd like to come on, just say in the chat you have an encounter. We'll drop you the link. Oh wow, Sharon Guy says 800-pound owl. That'd be terrifying. Nothing like knowing there's something out there that can eat you and then cough up your skin and fingernails and teeth,
Now they just cough up the bones.
all wrapped up in your skin. And then Randy or then Silver Bullet says, "Everybody getting ready for Thanksgiving."
Yum yum.
Make a Silver Bullet hungry. Something about that cannibalism just makes me want to run to the icebox. I've been craving some finger food lately. Uh,
So bad.
I think we're seeing a lot of things, and I think we're going to see a lot more things. Me and Sarah's planning on going back to some other locations and stuff. Um, as long as everybody wants to see. And I'm going to ask everybody while we got them on here tonight, Jesse. We talked about this.
Mhm.
Do you guys enjoy these live breakdowns? Because I know that the numbers fluctuate on them a lot. And I've even talked to Jesse about, if y'all don't like these breakdowns, just do away with them and just do a video drop because the video drops do a lot better. So maybe that's more what y'all are into. We're just trying to do what y'all would like to see us do. It doesn't matter to me either way. I'll just do whatever you all like. But seriously, dropping a video is a lot easier for me than doing these breakdowns because I'm up all day uploading and downloading and preparing these. But it's up to you guys. I mean, if you want us to continue doing the breakdowns, drop a one. If you'd rather us just drop a video and just do the boots on the ground, drop a two. I'm fine with either one. Uh, I just don't want to be, wasting time if it's not something that everybody wants to see or If they all say, well, we see it during the live, we don't need to see it again. You know, Michelle thinks the breakdowns are important.
Yeah, and it would be good to also, I mean, if to have everybody else come on here and share their experiences as well.
Right. If anybody has an experience, we'd love to have you on, talk to you.
Even if you don't have an experience and you know somebody that has, that they might be wanting to share theirs.
Oh yeah. Roman says 1 and 2. Thank you, Sharon. It does get scary, Jana. I'm not gonna lie, I get scared out there too. It's not always fun. But if nobody has anything to share tonight, guys, that's really all I have. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Enjoyed the audio clips, the hard work that Mike does sending that into us. We're very appreciative of that. That he takes the time to do that because he's also going through videos and pulling this stuff out and analyzing it and chopping it and making clips and then emailing it to me. And he sent Jesse a whole list of the times and everything. So he does a whole lot of work.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
which those timestamps really do help.
right. And if I don't see anybody that's got any stories, so if there's any last words you'd like to say before we shut this one down.
No, just I thank everybody for joining us and giving their opinions and comments, and hope everybody stays safe and wherever they are with the storms that are coming through, and God bless.
All right, guys, I want to thank you all for showing up tonight. The support that y'all give us is tremendous. It means a lot to us. Hunter, I want to say again to you, buddy. Can't believe you're turning a big 12. It's a big number. You're getting to be a big boy, and when you turn 12, people start listening to you. It's going to make a difference in your life. Um, I'm proud of you. I've always been proud of you. You was always the better part of me, and I can't wait to see you. I'll see you soon. I love you. I think about you every day. I know you don't watch these now, but I know that you will in the future, and I want you to know that I never gave up on you. I love you more than life itself, and I'll see you again just as soon as I can. All right, everybody. Good night. Be safe from the storms, and always remember keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner, and we'll see you on the next one.
Night.